It's genuinely humbling to see a packed room for Sudan. And everyone who's bought a ticket, Shannon, Meta, just everyone who's put their heart and soul into this event, I really appreciate you all. This one's called Sudan. Sometimes people tell me to go back home. I wish I could go back home. Sometimes people say, I can't really place you anywhere. Where are you from? I say, Sudan. The real name actually is Bilad as-Sudan. Her name means land of the black people. Bilad as-Sudan. Her name means land of the black people. أنا سوداني. وتخيل نحن سودانيين ونحن دايرين سلام. We want peace. ونحن دايرين حرية. Freedom. ونحن دايرين عدالة. Justice. I've got nostalgia-induced rope burn clinging onto memories of the good old days. Floor plans to a renovated land from a revolutionary revolution now feel like a pipe dream. A bonfire of hope spewing ash and embers of disappointment leave us with more questions than answers. Like, how did we get here? Like, seriously, how did we get here? It reminds me of a land of warmth that has turned so cold so fast. I ask myself, how does the world's breadbasket sow the seeds to its own famine? How does an ancient civilization fade into an afterthought? But you see, I want positive memories of Sudan. So I'll say this. She reminds me of immas wrapped around old heads, crisp white jalabiyas proudly paraded down dusty side streets. She reminds me of the adhan, nectar to my eardrums calming the chaos in my mind. She reminds me of colourful thobs, bakhur, singed sandalwood releasing its essence over hot coals. She reminds me of gentle midnight breezes, tea ladies on the trees, movie-like sunsets. She reminds me of mile-long iftars, families patiently waiting to break bread with strangers, serving meals cooked in homes seasoned with love. She reminds me of aghani al-banat, a drumbeat of joy at weddings sung over sweet songs. A drumbeat of joy at weddings over sweet songs sung by old lungs accompanied by younger ones. Bicker. Nobody mourns alone. Men make small talk about politics to mask their heartache while women weep as a congregation. But you see, behind her beauty lies a brutal truth. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, so the British took that Maxim and loaded it in their Maxim guns, spraying shells of conquest into the chests of fearless men, thousands martyred within an hour, a grim testament to colonial power. You see, Sudan, she gained her independence in 56, and back then her family still whole, her roots still mixed. But she's been passed on from man to man with a gun pressed to her grieving head, forced to renew vows that she never said decades at a time to men with no shame. I frequently call back home, and sometimes those calls on WhatsApp are interrupted by constant gunfire. And I remember seeing blue ticks fade into a pale grey. And then 2 ticks became 1. You see, a stranger risked his life to buy my auntie a SIM card. Just deep that. A stranger risked his life to buy my auntie a SIM card in a country where SIM cards last longer than suns, and prayers are stolen from open mouths and fed to machine guns. But you see, Sudan, she doesn't rest. She doesn't waver. She doesn't give up. She's a rich woman, abundant in cotton, oil, and gold, hundreds of tongues, not just Arabic. She's a merciful woman, a patient woman, sparing the throats of greedy men she could effortlessly slit. She is a strong mother. She braids resistance into her hair. She stirs okra with one hand and wipes tears with the other. She teaches her sons to pray and her daughters to lead. Bilad as-Sudan, land of the black people, beautiful, bruised, and unbroken. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I don't know how to adjust this mic. Is it possible to lift it a little bit higher? There we go. I'm thinking of doing a piece called Brotherhood. It's been a while since I've performed, so I'm going to have to read it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Exactly, I appreciate you. Brotherhood. How do I say I love you without saying I love you? Service. No need to ask. We're already there. Ashen faces, fighting fires. You see, a brother is a bond to be earned. A brother is a home in human form. A brother is a witness to your becoming. A brother is a mirror to the things you've been avoiding. Blood's thicker than water, but you're the river that kept pouring back into my cup. And in Arabic, we say akh, the kha scraping the back of your throat, a reminder that this word isn't to be used lightly. But you see, brotherhood's etched in nostalgia. So I'm talking about corner shop runs, KA Rubicon and 5p Freddos. 5p Freddos, that's inflation. That's also a cue of how old I am. Jeez. £5 trims. PS2 multi-tap. Half days at Sam's. Jumpers for goalposts. Knockdown ginger. Basketball in the cage before iftar. Royal rumbles on patchy grass. Each school fighting for the belt. And I'll admit, I'm more lover than fighter. But love will swing. And my inner Jackie Chan fly kicked the man that tried to spear you. Sampling sweets at Woolworths before Netflix was a thing, because brotherhood isn't a pick and mix, it's a lifetime subscription. And you see, you never called me a square for cutting people out of my circle. 15 countries deep, laughter in every time zone until your dad went missing. Childhood friends who outgrew you came running back. Your dad, I remember your dad. I remember him from the birthdays, always a joke, always a lesson. And now he's a bag of bones. And now I'm a pallbearer. And now I'm lowering the man that raised you. And the silence after the shovel was heavier than the soil. A brother stepped up to pray when the imam went missing. A brother held you when he saw roses reflected in your glassy eyes. But you see, my brothers will celebrate me, G-check me, and eventually bury me. You see, laughter was our first line of defense. Belly laughs healed us before therapy was a thing. We learned softness in hard places, stillness and silence. And loyalty became less about favor and more about presence. There's never a convenient time to take the call. Real brothers sit with you in silence, lend you peace when you can't find yours. Now life's louder, bills, deadlines, distractions, the nights out are fewer, the talks run deeper, and I see the men you've become, leaders, fathers, healers. We've lost brothers along the way. Let's keep shining for them. So here's to us, to brothers who show up through storms, laugh louder than loss, for we might drift, we never depart. Thank you. I'm going to read one that I didn't plan to read, and I'm going to thank Mishak for that. So let's see if I can find it. Mishak's the man of the night, like legit, like inspiring. He's out here inspiring everyone. You might have, but it's been a while since I performed it. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to try. Just got to make sure I've got the right version. If I don't, it is what it is. Okay. You know what? I'll just read it anyway. This one's called Burnt Out. Yes. You know it. Okay, he's heard it. This one's called Burnt Out. It's an old one. I'm going to say to the men especially, the women too, but the men especially, you often play this role of being the rock for everyone. And your currency is strength. But sometimes you confuse strength and suppression. And vulnerability does feel like a buzzword sometimes, but it is a new form of strength when you process your emotions. So this one's called Burnt Out. They say heavy is the head that wears the crown. But maybe it's the king that's wearing smiles that no one questions. Fighting battles no one sees. Drowning in silence no one hears. Just because your blood's blue doesn't mean you feel royal. No red carpet for being vulnerable. You see, these Insta Olympics got us filtering our feelings and archiving our emotions. Feeding demons, bench pressing insecurities in the cellar of your soul. Let me put myself in the king's shoes. As a king, most days I feel invincible. Most days I distract myself, play therapist, agony aunt, confidant, yet I never look in the mirror and ask myself, how am I feeling? My queen says, you're not complaining, it's called sharing. But what if I've never shared how I really feel? What if my keep calm and carry on mindset is the secret to my success? What if never shedding a tear is my badge of honor? What if I start to feel? And what if the illusion of Mr. Tough begins to shatter? And what about resilience? That's just suppression in disguise. You see, unspoken expectations make premeditated resentments, and even the strongest legs get tired of treading water. Holding your feelings for too long leads to death by drowning. It's physics. What's denser than water sinks, and the thing about drowning is you don't scream, you just sink. Us rocks were solid, right? Squeezing the truth out of us is like getting blood out of a stone. We compartmentalize grief, stacking feelings in cheap boxes labeled with empty words like I'm fine, I'm okay, not much really. These boxes form twin towers of repressed emotions, and my plane of logic, hijacked by feeling, crashes into what I've been holding back. A panic attack emerges from the falling debris. Who's to say an emotional 9/11 can't happen to you or me? Our thirst for more, our need for speed is sending us into a tailspin, racking up wreckage like it's a high score. Relationships, reputation, health, all collateral damage. And even Arnold Schwarzenegger were behind the wheel. He'd say, this is burnt out. This isn't burnt out, it's a breakdown. So slow down. Because speed is just distance over time. Living within your means isn't just about money, because if it costs your mental health, it's too expensive. Okay, so you love your job, but what about your life? You've gone from making bread to making toast. You've short-circuited your toaster heat on high for too long, and now whatever you've got left is burnt out.